let's move on to question number 56. Jamil is a stakeholder for a project and attends team meetings regularly. When the team breaks down, he always tries to come up with a solution. What is the engagement level of Jamil? A. Resistant, B. Neutral, C. Supportive, and D. Leading. And the correct answer is D. Leading. So basically, when we look at okay, let's have a look at this. Jamil is a stakeholder and he attends team meetings regularly. When the team breaks down, he always tries to come up with a solution. That means he's trying to lead the team. He's not only supportive in the project, he's leading, right? So he's actually taking up parts of the responsibility. So this is an example of a leading role as a stakeholder. All right, let's moving on to question 57. Which of the following is typically included in a team charter? Choose three. A. Team values. B. Team agreements. C. Team personality assessments. D. Team operating guidelines. And E. Team motivation. And the correct answer is team values, team agreements, and team operating guidelines. The whole purpose of a team charter is to get collaboration among the team members, make them gel well, make them also understand that if there are any conflicts, how to resolve it. Basically, prevent conflicts, or if at all there are some, these are the grounds on which the teams would interact. And therefore, among the options provided, team values, team agreements, and team operating guidelines. Team motivation, well, that's not really done here. That is done by project manager, and usually that's part of your planning, resource planning. And when we talk about C, which is team personality assessments, now that's done just before acquiring. So that's something else. Team charters are created after the acquisition, right? So this is something else. All right, let's move on to question number 58. A project manager has just been hired to work on a running project. Which power will best help him gain the cooperation of others? A. Formal, B. Reward, C. Referent, and D. Expert. And the correct answer is A. Formal. The project manager has just been hired. That means he's a new project manager with a new team. And then when that happens, your I mean, when you're a new person, your first way of dealing, your first power is formal. But if the question says best and you are an existing project manager, that means the situation is not new, then the answer would have been reward. But they're asking the best when the situation is that you're a new project manager, either with a team or with the organization or both. So in that case, you begin with formal, right? Never forget this rule. In case you're looking for a course, an examination readiness course, which is going to get you ready in just under 16 hours to ace PMP exam. Does a course like that exist? Yes, it does. Well, all you have to do is type pmvideo.pm-pulse.com. That's my site for PM videos. And over here, you have a few PMP 2021 related videos. The very first one is PMP Dash. PMP Dash for acing PMP 2021. When you come to this particular landing page, you have a video which will give you an introduction to entire PMP Dash. It also contains certain things which are there in PMP Dash. There'll be samples of what's contained inside. You can make an informed decision. The best thing is it gets you ready in just 16 hours. It contains every aspect of what's going to be covered in the PMP exam. Not only that, it has also 180 questions full examination set guided by me. In case you're looking for a course which will get you ready for PMP exam in a very short period of time, and not only that, it'll help you ace it. Well, this is the course. All right, let's move on to question number 59. You are the project manager of an agile team. You would like to increase the motivation of your team members. Which of the below options would you consider? A. Provide challenging work. B. Introduce employee of the month. C. Praise team members in front of others. And D. Promise cash bonus at the end of the project. And the correct answer is A, provide challenging work and praise team members in front of others. Now, basically, what happens is that, of course, this is one of those questions which has check boxes instead of radio buttons. So, because that's why it says which are the below options, right? So sometimes they will not always rise that choose two, choose three. Sometimes they don't, right? So these kind of questions you'll have to be even more careful, right? So now the question is that when we talk about agile team, they are considered more mature than normal team, which are only waiting for instructions, because we are basically asking, uh, basically this team, we are not, I mean, basically these are self-organized team. In a self-organized team, one of the best thing to do is provide challenging work so that they can work with a more attention. They feel like working together as a team, but also make sure that you praise team members in front of others so that all of them have a very, a behavior of being accoladed in front of others. But if you say B, introduce employee of the month, that doesn't really work very well because you're actually differentiating one for the other, and basically you're not basically I mean basically you're rewarding somebody who's not a team player, not necessarily. And then when we talk about D, promise cash bonus at the end of the project, well, as I said, all of these things would work depending on which kind of hierarchy you are on the project. But agile teams, because they are self-organized teams, they're considered a little more mature, and we would assume that they're not at the physiological level. And therefore, the best answers are A and C. All right, let's move on to question number 60. Which statement about organizational impediments is incorrect? A. Kanban boards can help project managers to visualize the workflow and make impediments visible. B. Implementing limits on work in progress can improve the workflow. C. Servant leaders should focus on changing or removing organizational impediments. And D. Impediments should be brought up during daily stand-ups so that so they can be fixed straight away. And the correct answer is D. You see, when we talk about servant leaders should focus on changing or removing organizational impediments, well, uh, yes and no, because their job as a servant leader is to remove get the impediments removed, whether they themselves do it or they would get it done from somebody else. And therefore, C is not bad, but it's not that the servant leader, basically the agile manager or the project manager, they will not be able to take care of every change or remove every impediment, especially organizational impediments. They might have to escalate it to the sponsor. But the point is, it's their job to identify, get it identified. It should be reported to them so that they can, work on it and they can get it fixed. Now, how do they get it fixed? That's different. So C tells that the servant leader has to get it done himself or herself, which is not always the case. So between C and D, D is better. Impediments should be brought up during daily stand-up so that they can be fixed straight away. Well, as soon as possible, let's put it this way, but this is good enough.